Welcome back, everybody. I'm Sassy Pants, wife to Matty the rancher, and I'll be your storyteller today. Welcome to Adventures with Sodak Pete. Stories that celebrate the hard work, the big hearts, and the wide open spaces of ranch life. Out here, every day's an adventure, and we hope each and every one of you can imagine yourself as little Sodak Pete, learning the ropes, getting your hands a little dirty, and helping out where it counts. So grab your boots and tip your hat, and let's see what today's adventure has in store. Sodak Pete moving cows to a new pasture. The sun peeked over the hills. Pete tugged on his boots. Millie's tail was thumping on the floor. She was ready to go. "Big day ahead," Matty said with a grin. "We're moving some cows, Pete." In the ranch yard, they packed up the four-wheeler for the day. Matty set water bottles in the crate. Pete clipped on his walkie-talkie, and Millie sat at attention, ready to roll. Matty pointed toward that back pasture. "We're going to move one bunch of cows today, Pete. First, we'll check the fence, then the grass, then the water. If it all looks good, we'll be able to move the herd to the new pasture." Pete's eyes lit up. "I'm ready, Matty." Blackjack, the four-wheeler, rumbled to life. Pete climbed on behind Matty. He pulled his hat low. Millie trotted alongside. Her ears were tall, and her tail was a wagon. Off they went, down the pasture trail. At the gate, Matty slowed up. "Let's check the fences first, Pete," he said. They rode along the fence to make sure the wires were tight and the posts were standing strong. "No breaks here," Pete called. Millie sniffed along the fence line and wagged her tail with approval. They knelt in the grass. "It looks tall and green," Matty said. Pete tugged a handful and he grinned. Plenty for those hungry cows," he said. Pete and Millie heard a bird whistling in the distance. Pete looked. It was a meadowlark, singing happily on the top of a fence post. Next stop, check the water. They peered into the dugout. The water was deep and clear. A creek was running strong nearby, too. Matty nodded. "Plenty of fresh water. The cows will do just fine here." Pete and Millie were tempted to tippy-toe into the check out the water, but they had to keep moving. "Let's go check the herd," said Matty. He swung the gate wide open, and they eased Blackjack into the cows. Back and forth they drove, real nice and slow, checking close. "Cows look strong. Mamas look good," Matty said. Pete's grin spread wide. "Well, it looks like the cows are ready to move then." Matty whistled low. Pete gave it a try, too. He'd have to keep working on that. The cows lifted their heads. Millie trotted along the edge of the herd, calm and steady. No chasing, no rushing, just guiding the herd toward the greener grass. Some calves followed their moms real quickly. Others dawdled, noses in the dirt. A few bawled and whined, not sure where their mamas went. "Easy now," Matty said. "Let's stay behind and stay calm. That will give the calves a chance to find their moms." Pete spotted a calf all by himself, kind of looking around. "He looks lost, Matty." Matty whistled, gentle and steady. Pretty soon a mama cow bawled, and the calf hustled to catch up. Millie zigged and zagged calmly along the side of the herd. She poked her nose into the grass and kind of sniffed around, and all of a sudden, one sleepy calf jumped up. It was sure surprised, and so was Millie. Pete laughed. "Millie found a napper." Matty tipped his hat. "Nice work, cowgirl." Back and forth they went, working the back of the herd. Drive a little, pause, whistle soft. Guide from the sides, drive a little, pause, whistle soft. Matty kept his voice calm. "Patience, Pete. Watch their pace. Let the cows and calves move steady. We want to work with them, not against them." Pete sighed, and he took a moment just to enjoy the view. Happy cows and calves, headed for the new pasture. At the open gate, hooves thudded. Cows and calves stepped into fresh grass. Soon they spread out all across the meadow. Heads were lowered to graze, and then the calves started to kick and buck and race in circles. Pretty quickly the herd settled in, and everyone was content and quiet. Pete was happy. It felt good to get the job done well. The cows and calves were relaxing, swishing their tails in the tall grass. Matty tipped his hat. "Nice work, Pete." Millie stretched out in the grass and waited for the boys to get ready to go home. The day's task was finished. It was time to head back to the ranch yard. That evening on the porch, Pete lay on his back, hands behind his head, looking up at the stars blinking bright in the sky. Matty was relaxing in his chair, hat tipped back. Millie lay curled at their feet. In a low voice, Matty said, "Thank you, Lord, for healthy cattle, for plenty of grass and water, and for good people to share the work." And I agreed. Thanks for riding along with us today. Sodak Pete and I hope you'll join us on our next adventure.